What's up, guys? So I'm sat in my computer room, bedroom, spare room, whatever it's called, office, I like to call it, and just sat here looking at my Blu-rays, and obviously they're all in front of me. So I thought I'd do a quick 4K Blu-ray update. I've got a few in the collection now, and just thought I'd show them off as such. So we start off with a film that I haven't unwrapped yet. But it's Star Trek Into the Darkness. There in all its 4K HDR glory. Good film. This has got quite slated. I bought this from Curry's and it was only £4 something. I think that's probably why I picked it up when I picked it up. But I really enjoyed it. I've seen it at the cinema a couple of times. I watched it in 3D. Where I used to work as well, they had Paramount European office, and they've got a massive cinema in there, so I watched that in there as well, so quite enjoyed that. Star Trek Into the Darkness, not one of the best ones, but or the best I was gonna say remade ones, but you know what I mean, modern day ones. So next one is Blade Runner 2049. Saw this at the cinema, haven't watched it on 4K. I have watched the digital version on that. Not a great lover of this. Really like the way it looks. I think it looks fantastic. The storyline is a little bit is convoluted, the right words. A little bit not confusing, because you kind of catch up, but just they add a lot of shit that that doesn't really need to be there, I guess. So a little bit of a disappointment off the back of obviously the classic, which is Blade Runner, which is everybody's well, pretty much everybody's favourite sci-fi film of the 80s. But yeah, looks fantastic. There is a storyline there, I guess. You know, it's a good watch, should we just say that, but it's not really one of my favourite ones. One thing that kind of I was looking at their faces. Don't know why, I was just looking at their faces. On my phone, it's got like a little yellow box, so you can tag them, so you can have sort of images of Harrison Ford in kind of like a folder on the phone, which is quite snazzy. Now, what was I saying? The soundtrack. The soundtrack makes Blade Runner for me. Vangelis was on top of his form, and I don't think there's a bad track on the album. This one sounds noisy. There are some really good tracks in there from the score, but it just sounds a bit loud and proud, if that makes sense at all. The next film is one of my favourites, and it came out the same year as The Force Awakens, I believe, and it probably was one of my favourite, well, it's probably the favourite actually of the year, even though The Force Awakens came out. And that's of course Mad Max, because it's got it right in front of me. Love this 4K transfer. The film is brilliant. The transfer is amazing when they're going through the whole storms, and the HDR and that just blows you away. It's such a good watch in 4K. It's such a good watch anyway. But you know, the 4K sharpness really adds a different dimension to the actual film itself. But yeah, this is one of my favourite films of the last couple of years, definitely, hands down. Next film is the fantastic Kingsman: Secret Service. So the first one, I watched, we've got a Cineworld card, and we go to the cinema quite often, and the second one, which is coming up, actually, I'll give you a little spoiler there. The second one was being heavily advertised, heavily like trailered for a couple of months, and it was like, it looked fun, it looked quite good. So literally me and my wife ordered it, or booked our seats, and thought we better catch up on this as well. Yeah, I bought this and watched it and was blown away. Absolutely 100% up my street. Funny, smart as such, you know, it's just such a good film, such a well-made film. Acting in it is brilliant. Colin Firth is excellent. Obviously Samuel L. Jackson is like the bad guy is class. Yeah, I really like that. And obviously there's what's his name from what is his name? What is his name now? This is going to annoy me. Let's see if we can see it on there together. God, that's really bad. Really bad sort of like writing there, isn't it? Wow, has it got his name on it? Has it got his name on it? Oh God, this is really annoying. Right. Tyrone Eggert or whatever his face is. Yeah, that's the one. I really like him as well. Good actor. Very good actor. We are now moving on to some classic. I bought these a couple of weeks ago. Haven't watched. Yes, I have watched one of them. First one is 4K transfer of Die Hard. Again, not picked this up. And watched it yet. Oh, I have picked it up. It's in my hands. That's silly, isn't it? So I've picked this up. I'm really looking forward to watching this because apparently the HDR really stands out in this. Obviously the explosions, sort of like the depth of field on that. So that's what I'm reading on the reviews. But really like this slipcover. Try and take the Blu-ray itself out. There you go. You can have a picture of my dressing gown and my. Oh, it is the same. It's the same sort of and it's got one of those ugly looking security tags like that. Needs to come off. As soon as I put this phone down, that needs to come off. Yeah, so it's literally the same artwork and design as it is on the slipcover. So that's nice. So I like that. Yeah, that can go back up there. The next one is an absolute classic, and that's Schwarzenegger Predator. Again, this is brilliant in 4K. I saw this at the cinema. I was lucky enough that Cineworld were doing a not a preview, that's the wrong word to be using, a special, like a Cineworld sort of site special where they do old film, which is love that. You know, you get to watch Predator at the cinema. I was too young to watch it when it came out on video or on film last time, or when it was what year did it come out? People are screaming at me right now. 1987. So 1987, I was 11, so there's no way I was going to go see an 18 at the cinema. And obviously, like when it came out for rent, I saw it pretty quickly after that because my folks were cool. Where, you know, watching sort of 18 films was okay. I was, you know, I turned up all right, or turned out all right, as the case may be. Next one is The Incredible Hulk on 4K. Actually really like this film. Got slated. I thought Edward Norton was really good as the Hulk. Really like the storyline. Obviously, what's his face? Him. When he turns into the main sort of baddie at the end. A little bit silly, maybe. A little bit kind of like daft. But, hey, really good film in 4K. Can't really go wrong. I love this slipcover as well. I love the colours on it. Wicked. This one I picked up again last week, and it is The Matrix in 4K. Not had a chance to watch it as yet. But again, a really decent kind of slipcover. And The Matrix, obviously the first one is the only one really that you need to own. The rest are pretty pants. But yeah, really like this. And the actual disc, the actual case inside there is different. So I'll show you that. Right there. There's the rabbit. Yeah, really good. So I really like Matrix. When I watched that first time, it was on the cinema, and it was a dodgy knockoff from China, and it was the worst copy I think I've ever seen. And I watched it because I was really hooked. It started sort of about 10 minutes into it when they meet in the club. It started then, so I kind of like was thrown straight into it, and yeah, didn't really know what was going on. As soon as he started taking the pills and sort of like came out of the dream world into reality, yeah, I was hooked, absolutely hooked. Next one is DC's finest, Wonder Woman. Again, a really nice kind of like satin slipcase there with obviously the gorgeous Wonder Woman on there. So and let's not talk about Justice League. Let's not. So again, another fantastic film. DC nailed this one, I thought. Really liked the whole storyline. Loved the whole sort of like World War II. Was it World War II or World War One? Where she goes over no man's land. Soundtrack for that is absolutely stunning, and yeah, just takes your breath away that little bit, I think. That little like 5-minute part of the film, where she just wants to help, and it's very simple. She's very simple in regards to like, why can't we help these people? And everybody's like, well, you can't, because that's not the way it works. That won't win the war. But it wins a little bit of, you know, a little bit of decency, a little bit of, can't think of the word. So Wonder Woman, yeah, again, another really nice slipcover there. And I think it is slightly different inside, so I'll show you that. Oh, I lied. Exactly the same. But without the silkness or the satinness of the slipcover. Another fantastic film and another fantastic slipcase. Thor Ragnarok, one of my best Marvel films. I've got another Marvel film coming up in a second, but this is definitely in the top sort of, well, top two. I'm kind of torn between this and the next one that I'm going to show you. So, well, I'll show you in a minute because it's a Steelbook. And yeah, Thor Ragnarok is just absolutely fantastic. Characters in it, amazing. Chris Hemsworth is fantastic. It's just a great film. It's just a really well put together one. The Hulk is badass. I just love the whole comedy the whole comedy side to it. And yeah, this is very clever film. Very clever film. There they are. Fantastic film. Next film, absolute classic. Again, I love picking out the classics in 4K because it just gives you an extra sort of dimension. It really gives you an extra reason to watch them again. So, and it is Terminator 2. Got this for Christmas last year from my sister. Yeah, what can you say about Terminator 2? Saw this at the cinema as well, and it was another Cineworld one a couple of months ago, but I missed it. I was working and I couldn't make it, so that sucked a little bit because again, I would love to have seen this back at the cinema, but saw this originally back in the cinema. I think I was 15. Or if I wasn't, 1991. So I was 15 exactly. So yeah, good call on that. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Next one is a film that I wouldn't have seen if I didn't have my Cineworld card. So this is another reason why this Cineworld card is really good, because it gets you out of the house, gets you watching films that you wouldn't normally see. And I think this was a very good film to see at the cinema as well. And it was Baby Driver. Let's not talk about Kevin Spacey, shall we? Let's just put my thumb over there. But really good film, really unique, really different. Soundtrack was amazing. Film was good. Love interest, and yeah, that could do one a little bit. But yeah, Baby Driver, such a good film. Bye bye, Kevin. Okay, so the next film is my film of the millennium. No, the film of the decade, I would say, for me. This is no exaggeration when I say I absolutely love this film, because I absolutely love this film. I've seen it about, I think I've seen it 5 times at the cinema, and I've seen it once on Dodgy, and once on 4K as well. And to say I love this film, I mean, again, I am kind of into musicals, but this is just magical, entertaining, really simple but great storyline, just well done, well filmed. It could have been better. The direction and the producing could have been better for me. Could have been a bit more sort of like colourful and magical, but colourful and magical enough for me to be blown away by The Greatest Showman. Absolutely, I know it's got a bit mixed sort of like feelings out there where, you know, it isn't the polished article at all. It's just, if it either resonates with you or it doesn't, then you know, that's like, and it totally resonates with me. The whole sort of like, you know, Hugh Jackman just trying to do the right thing, getting sidetracked, getting waylaid as such, down a road that he doesn't really want to go down, but he sort of like gets blinkers on and goes down that road anyway. And then something happens, and I'm not going to give too much away from the film, but something happens, and it's like he just had a flashback, and it's like, shit, this isn't what I'm doing this for. So it goes back to his roots, and yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Love The Greatest Showman. I can't say enough about that. Another film I really enjoyed is It. So the remake, it's not really a remake because it wasn't a film before. I thought all the kids in that was brilliant. I thought Pennywise was scary enough. I thought the whole sort of like fast motion things where he comes towards the camera was a bit, I don't know, I don't really get scared from horror films as such, but that just sort of took me out of the whole creepiness of the film itself. Yeah, I didn't really like that. That sort of like belongs in a B-list horror film, or like you know, a low budget one. Not really a film as good as this, and it's a very good film. Again, a kind of Saturn cover. It's not Saturn. Yeah, it is Saturn. But really good. Really enjoyed it. Loved the whole bit when they're walking through the town centre and they go past the cinema and they're like, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Dream Child? Was it Dream Child? Love that. Love seeing that sort of like, I think they've done a Lethal Weapon 2 as well. Just something so little, and obviously like the 80s, kind of like, I love the 80s, so bit of a throwback to the 80s, which was great to see. And I kind of, obviously not made the film for me. It's a very good film, but it just added a different layer to it, and the New Kids on the Block part was quite funny as well. So I will go on to the one and only box set that I've got, because the next is Steelbooks, and that is Ghostbuster Collection, 1 to 3. 1 to 3. Well, 1 and 2 and 3 sort of like comes into it, which wasn't as bad as people made out to be, but it didn't add too much to the Ghostbuster franchise for me, which is a real shame, because I would love to have seen that take back off. Love to have seen that sort of kick the franchise back into life. So yeah, Ghostbuster trilogy. Pains me to say that a little bit, but yeah, there it is. And it looks great in 4K as well. It looks really good. So now we're moving on to the Steelbooks. I will come up to pre-said Steelbook, and that is Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Another film I really enjoyed at the cinema. I think we saw it twice at the cinema. Another bonus using that cinema Cineworld card is that you can watch it as many times as you want. It's like, if I had that Cineworld card when Rocky 4 Back to the Future came out, then I think I would have seen those 10, 15, 20, 30 times, I would have said. So really like that Cineworld card. So you just pay, what is it, 18 quid a month, and yeah. Kingsman Golden Circle, nice Steelbook. Not the greatest. I like the whole cartoon thing. I think they've obviously tried on it. Not a massive lover of it, but it does look quite good, and it is a fantastic film. Well, if you like the first one, you definitely like this one. Yeah, Kingsman Golden Circle, and it is in HMV. I think they've obviously overdone it because they're now selling them for $11.99, which is a 4K Blu-ray, and they don't sell for $11.99. So and it's a Steelbook, and they don't sell for $11.99. So I think they've or mass produced them, or they didn't sell as well as they would, or should, or thought they would. But yeah, nevertheless, great film. Nice Steelbook. Tried, like that. Cool. Next one, again, another fantastic film. This is the first film that I saw with my Cineworld cards, and that is Spider-Man Homecoming. Lovely Steelbook on that. Really, really like that image there with Spidey and Iron Man. And then you've obviously got the back and Spidey's starting outfit. Yeah, fantastic film again. Like, just really enjoyable, really fun. Gets the Spider-Man franchise back to where it should be. I thought what's his name doing Peter Parker was brilliant. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Next one is a classic Steelbook, and it is Jurassic Park. So the original Jurassic Park. Haven't watched it on 4K as yet, but thought I'd get it. Is that a dent in there? Yeah, it's a bastard. Didn't notice that before. And you won't be surprised to see or to hear that, because it's got a dent in it, I got it from CEX. It's only 20 quid. Well, when I say only 20 quid, it's 20 quid. But yeah, Jurassic Park Steelbook. Right, so then the last one I've got is... no, it isn't the last one I've got. I don't know which to do first now. Right, do you know what? I will do this one. So, when I was talking about Thor Ragnarok, being a Marvel film, being my favourite Marvel film, this comes very close as well. So 1 and 2 has to be Ragnarok and Infinity Wars rather. Absolutely love this film. Gorgeous Steelbook. So you've got the Infinity Gauntlet there. Kind of trying to make it shine on there, but it does look a damn sight better in real life. And of course you got the ultimate badass Thanos. Back's a bit boring. Back's a bit Star Wars like. Not the greatest, but fantastic film. Again, another film that I've watched multiple times. So the reason I didn't remember these was because they're actually in my Star Wars Steelbook collection, so that kind of gives it away what it is. So the first one is The Last Jedi. Enjoyed this. I took it for what it was. Could it have been better? Absolutely. Was it a decent storyline? No. A bit lame, really, for a Star Wars film. Kind of like a little bit shit. But I enjoyed it. It was a Star Wars film, and it wasn't complete and utter crap, which I think a lot of people make it out to be. It could have been better, but his face, man. Look at him. He ain't happy, is he? But yeah, really enjoyed The Last Jedi myself. I understand why people are slating it, but yeah, pretty good. For me, anyway. And the next one is my latest pickup, Steelbook, and that is Solo. Again, another kind of like matte finish on there, showing you the Millennium Falcon. Nice and shiny. Like the spine, because they've got into a nasty habit of doing spines like this. This is The Force Awakens, and I don't like that at all. Doesn't tell you whatever you put in your collection, it just looks a bit crap. And certainly when they released the whole original trilogies before, and they done that, I thought it'd be lovely to like keep in sort of like tandem with that. You know, have the sort of like original artwork on the back, and then sort of like a character on the front. They didn't do that, and they just ruined it really with the Force Awakens one. But never mind, never mind. So on the back there, you've got obviously Chewie, Lando, Solo, and can't remember her name. Queen of Dragons. Yeah. So, and I really enjoyed Solo as well. Another film I watched a couple of times at the cinema. I think I really like films because they're in the Star Wars universe. But this was never going to be sort of like part of that universe, because that universe isn't this story, if that makes sense. But yeah, stick Star Wars on anything, and I'm sold. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. That's my 4K collection. I will do more videos. Obviously, this is a long time that I've done a video, so I just wanted to pop something up, something fun, something quick. So he says quick, 25 minutes later. But yeah, all's well here. Health's okay. Don't want to go too much into that because I know people will probably get bored with that. But yeah, all good. And thank you very much for watching. And I hope to do videos very, very soon. I have got one in the works for Gashead's Graveyard Shift, which should be released. Well, it should be released this month. I mean, definitely this month. I'm hoping to get a couple out, which would be good. But yeah, so if you haven't already, obviously pop over to Gashead's Graveyard Shift and subscribe there, because there will be some videos coming up there. Obviously, being Halloween month, being Scary month, I want to pick up some. I want to pick up some mojo to make videos again. So, and this was an easy fix. This was a nice little welcome back for me, and not too strenuous. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will catch you soon. Hope everybody's okay. See you soon.